You're gonna love this one. When it comes to shutting down agenda-driven reporters, no one does it better than Donald Trump. Whether it's during press briefings or interviews, he's got ways of turning the tables and leaving these woke reporters scrambling. You see, the Don doesn't just call out the bias, he exposes it in real time and it never fails to be entertaining. Today we're covering some of those moments and you're going to enjoy every second of it. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
President, overall, South Korea has done 5 times more tests than the U.S. per capita. Why is that?
I don't think that's true.
That is true. And you said this morning that the White House said the U.S. passes South Korea in virus testing.
Who are you with?
Yahoo News. And it's not true per capita.
Do you want to respond to that? If you have the numbers.
South Korea's testing was 11 per 100,000, and we're at 17 per 100,000. So
are you going to apologize, Yahoo? That's why you're Yahoo, and nobody knows who the hell you are. Go ahead, let's go.
Based on the numbers I've seen,
that's why nobody knows who you are, including me. Go ahead.
Mr. President,
just check it again.
You ought to get your facts right before you.
Well, we have had 14
Okay, well, your facts are wrong.
If I worked for Yahoo back then, I wouldn't give a straight answer about my workplace. Honestly, the whole brand is an example of how not to run a company. But what really takes the cake is this reporter's refusal to accept reality, even when the facts were staring him right in the face. You'd think after being presented with cold hard evidence, he'd take a step back and maybe, just maybe reconsider. Nope, instead she doubled down and kept making excuses. We can't make a video about Trump taking down reporters without including Jim Acosta in it, so here we go.
That this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual. It happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
To give a bit of context, they were talking about the infamous 2018 caravans that would start from Central America, and later that year, one of these caravans had 7,000 people in it. It was a massive spectacle covered healthily by the media, with reporters trying to downplay concerns while footage showed endless streams of people heading toward the US-Mexico border. We've seen Biden's administration follow Jim's approach, which led to the issue of illegal immigration becoming one of the deciding factors in Trump's re-election. Now, the interaction didn't end there as Acosta had an agenda to push, and since he didn't have the chance to do it, he decided to turn things into a shouting match.
Mr. President, if I may ask
Peter,
one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his butt.
Well, I'm not
like
a big fan of yours either, so
I understand.
To be honest.
Talk about being rude. A few days ago, Jim announced that he was leaving CNN, and there are some rumors that the network wanted to reschedule his 10 a.m. Eastern Time weekday slot to shift that would be at midnight and not end at 2 a.m. on the East Coast. Now, he's trying to act like Tucker Carlson as he's going independent and will start some sort of a show on Substack. In one post, he directly addressed Trump, saying, "To President Trump and his allies, you may think you have silenced me, but guess again." By the way, drop a like if you're also sick of these woke reporters trying to constantly victimize themselves. Next, we have NBC's Katie Tur, who fumbled like a novice journalist.
If you listen to Hillary, she is so weak on immigration. We will have a crime wave like you've never seen before.
Immigration is down. Why is this such a big topic for you right now?
Well, immigration's a very big topic. Take a look at all the crime that's being committed. Go take a look at it.
The research says the crime does not match what you're saying. The research, the Pew Research, which is independent, says.
Don't be naive. You're a very naive person.
The Pew Research says that there are for immigrants on the whole
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead.
Immigrants commit less crime than U.S.-born citizens.
Okay.
There are less immigrants in our jails than.
You know what? Number one, I disagree with it. Number two, whether it's true or not, illegal immigrants. I'm talking about illegal immigrants. I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm talking about illegal immigrant. I'm an immigrant. You're an immigrant. We're all immigrants.
Illegal immigrants commit less crime other than coming through illegally.
I'm talking about illegal immigrants.
If she actually listened to herself, she'd realize she just contradicted herself in 3 seconds. But the problem with so many so-called journalists today, it's not about reporting the truth. It's about pushing an agenda, no matter how ridiculous it sounds. And when reality refuses to cooperate with their narrative, they don't stop to rethink their position. Instead, they just keep talking, doubling down, or awkwardly stumbling through their words as they try to come up with the ultimate comeback. It's like watching someone try to argue that the sky isn't blue while standing outside on a sunny day. To wrap things up, we have Leslie Stahl, who chose to start the interview in a very weird way.
Are you ready for some tough questions?
You're going to be fair.
I'm going to be fair.
Just be fair.
But you're okay with some tough questions?
No, I'm not.
You're not okay with tough questions?
I want him to be fair. You don't ask Biden tough questions. So.
To put into perspective how bad this was, Leslie Stahl has been a journalist long before I or even most of you watching me were born. And she actually did some pretty important interviews during her career, but this definitely was not one of them. And Trump ended it just 15 minutes later.
I saw your interview with Joe, the interview with Joe Biden.
I never did a Joe Biden interview.
The interview, 60 Minutes. I see Joe Biden giving softball after softball. I've seen all of his interviews. He's never been asked a question that's hard.
Okay, but forget him for a minute.
No, but you start with me.
You're president. And
excuse me, Leslie, you started with me. Your first statement was, are you ready for tough questions?
Are you?
That's no way to talk. It's no way to talk.
Leslie, one second.
At this point, one of our producers interrupted to advise about the time remaining in the interview.
I think we have enough of an interview here, Hope. Okay, that's enough. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go meet for 2 seconds, okay? Thanks. I'll see you in a little while. Thanks.
Be careful.
Trump later released the entire unedited interview 3 days before it aired, saying, "Look at the bias, hatred, and rudeness on behalf of 60 Minutes and CBS. Seeing what they did with the Kamala interview last year, I think it was a pro move." By the way, I'd love to know which of these moments was your favorite, so let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to see these epic takedowns, please share the video with them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.